Hi, I'm Tom Waite from GundogTrainer.com. We're going to show you in this 15-minute video the transitional steps from the force fetching table down to the using electronics and converting the force fetch from the table to the ground. Now this is Boone. He's about a 9-month-old black lab male, a very high energy, high desire dog, and he's probably going to give us some fits today in this sit. But we're going to show you guys from the start, when you went through the force fetching on the bench and on the table, how to make this conversion to the collar and do it outside. As soon as you take a dog out of its element, as we did on the table, and you work through a process, everything changes when you get to the ground, you get outside where they're comfortable and feel comfortable. Notice the difference with this dog, his intensity. His ears are up, he's focused on everything going on around him. Sit. But he wasn't that way when we force fetched and we went through the force fetching on the table. We're going to show you today how to go through with the electronics, converting electronics into force fetching, as we did out in the field with the obedience commands. Notice we used an ear pinch on the force fetching table. Now we're going to go to a conversion of electronics. Go through the same concepts as we did in teaching the dog and conditioning the dog to the collar. Sit. Come here. Here. But what we're going to do is we're going to initially give the conversion to the dog. Sit. Sit. We're going to initially do the conversion with the dog kind of hands-on, as we did inside there. But instead of using an ear pinch, we're going to use a low-level stimulation. I know this dog typically runs on a 1 or 2 on the collar, which is the second lowest level. We're going to utilize that, but what we're going to do is let him think that we're going to pinch his ear, but we're really not pinching his ear. We're going to take the collar, we're going to put it on top of his ear, and press the buttons accordingly to give him the pressure. Sit. Sit. Give him the pressure, fetch, hold. As soon as it's in his mouth, hold, drop. We go through the same process. We do it a few more times with his ear. Give him the pressure, fetch, fetch, hold. Good boy. Drop. Fetch, hold, drop. Now we're going to go and we're going to do it out without his ear, still holding on to his collar, but giving him the pressure. Give him the pressure, fetch. He gets the pressure. Now notice he's used to his ear being touched and he doesn't understand. Hold. Good boy. He spits it out, fetch, 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 fetch. Now if I need to, I take a step back, put his ear on the button. Now watch how much difference this makes when a dog associates certain things. Fetch, fetch, or in this case, doesn't. Hold. Good boy. Drop. Go without the ear again. Just the pressure. Fetch. 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 Patience is of the utmost here. Fetch. If he doesn't want to do it, we go back to putting his ear on there. Fetch. See how he opens his mouth? Hold. Right there shows you that what the dogs have for an association. He associates the ear and the ear pinch with the pressure, not quite associating the collar with it. Drop. We'll use the ear again. And mind you, I'm not doing anything more than just pushing his ear on the button. I'm not giving any pressure on the ear, no pinch, no nothing. Fetch. Fetch. Hold. He spits it out, we do as we did inside. Fetch. Hold. Hold. Drop. Now we go back to just the button and no ear. Fetch. 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 Giving us fits, we go back to the ear. Put the ear on the collar. Fetch. Hold. Instantly opens his mouth. Drop. That tells you how important it is early on in the association what these dogs understand. Put the ear on again, fetch. Give him the pressure, fetch. Opens the mouth, hold. Drop. Now we could take this dog back inside onto the table and he would be a whole different beast. He'd pick the stuff up off the table, he'd run back and forth, he'd hold it accordingly, but now we've added distractions. We've added the outside, we've added things here that to him, he should be out running around, playing, doing what he wants to do. We're telling him that's not the way it is. fetch. Give him the pressure, fetch. If he doesn't want to do it, we go back to the ear. Fetch, hold, drop. See how quick it is when I put his ear on there? He associates that, even though he's getting the pressure from the collar and not on his ear, he associates it with the force fetching. Fetch, fetch, hold, drop. Good boy. Now we'll try it without the ear. Fetch, 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 fetch. Good boy. Hold. Notice I'm not changing hold. He spits it out, we go back to pressure. Fetch, fetch. We go back to the ear. Fetch, hold, hold, drop. We'll do it one more time, then we're going to take the next step here and see if we can convert some of this stuff. Fetch. Good. Hold. Hold. Drop. Good boy. Okay. Now I release him, give him a second to kind of run around. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take the other things we worked with our basic obedience. Here. And we're going to convert some of those things into the force fetching. Now obviously this is an ongoing process. He thinks right now this is all fun and games and play. Once I decide to make him work, that's just how it's going to be. I decide when it's time to work, the play stuff ends. Here. Here. Drop. Now we're going to make him start close. Here. Heel. Heel. Sit. Stay. You start off by just throwing a short one. Sit. Stay. Back. Good boy. Batch it up. Here. Here. Hold. Hold. Sit. Sit. Now if he wants to spit it out, we can go right back to the ear. Fetch. Hold. He spits it out again, we go back to this process again. Hold. Drop. Now I at least realize, knowing that the collar isn't quite effective with him yet, I'm going to go back to what he knows best. I can be a fool about it and say, I'm going to make the collar work, I'm going to make the collar work, I'm going to make the collar work. You can only make the collar work when the dog is ready for that to happen. We can push the envelope, but I don't want to take this dog's desire and intensity away from him. You can see he's a puppy, he's running around, he thinks life is grand. The biggest thing we want to make sure of is that we convert the force fetching stuff from inside outside. At this point, I'm more concerned about his finish within 5 feet of me. What happens? You can throw a 100-yard mark retrieve, you can throw a 5-foot mark retrieve. Our concentration is on the force fetching, converting it to the ground and being outdoors. I still make him go through the obedience. Heel. Sit. Sit. I got a finger on him holding on his collar right now because I don't want him to break. Meaning, go till I tell him. I'll make him sit, stay. Back. Send him with a command. Here. Good boy. Hold. Hold. Sit. He drops it. We're going to make him pick it up. Fetch. Hold. Sit. Hold. Drop. Good boy. Fetch. 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 Hold. Drop. Good boy. We'll do it again. Here. Here. Sit. Now notice I'm not in a big rush. Everybody wants things here. Everybody wants things to happen yesterday. Now he leaves me, we're going to use the collar. Here. Heel. Heel. Right here. Sit. He's been collar conditioned. We go back to the basic obedience before we move ahead. Sit. Sit. Good boy. So what we need to do with this dog is we need to consistently stay on top of things. We have to go back to obedience. We can utilize the collar, as I just said, to get back to the obedience, keep everything moving along. What you're doing in the process throughout these 15-minute videos is building a base to what you're going to build on. I utilize the term of a pyramid. We're building the base first and we work our way towards the top. These are essential parts of the base of our pyramid. In first 15-minute trainers, we work through the collar conditioning. Then we work through the off lead with the collar. Then we work through healing. Here we're pulling everything together we also add the element of the 15-minute force fetching video. We're adding the element of all of our obedience stuff now with the force fetching. So obviously the dog has to be in tune to us and has to be doing everything unlike this to what we want. He's a young dog, he's got a short attention span. Your dog may be just like this, but we will not start doing what we're doing and continuing here until the dog is under control where we want. Boone, heel. Heel. Sit. Sit. Good boy. Now we'll do this again. Stay. Boone. Here. Hold. Hold. Okay, he spits it out. Now we're going to go right to the pressure. Fetch. Hold. Sit. Good boy. Now is he exactly where we want him? From a hold. Now he spits out. We have to go back to pressure. Hold. Sit. Sit. If we always end him in the same place, he's going to consistently believe, drop, that this is where he's got to be. By me allowing him to sit here, sit over here, do what he wants, he's making the decisions for what's acceptable. And like I said, remember, we're working on all the parts of the pyramid here of the base, and we're pulling everything together. So if you allow him to get away with one thing, as I would allow him to get away with one thing here, you're going to take steps backwards to move ahead. We'll do a few more. We'll get him to understand the concept that this transition to the ground is no longer just fun and games and play. But now he still has to go out, pick up the bumper, come back in, sit down, and hold, pulling everything we've been doing here together. We'll do one more time. Stay. Boom. Good boy. Here. Here. Hold. Hold. Now he wants to spit it out. He knows he should grab it. Fetch. Give him the option. He doesn't do it. Hold. Here. Here. Hold. Sit. Now I'm going to make the decision. Sit. Fetch. Hold. Giving him that pressure. Hold. Drop. We'll do one more. Try to get a little more consistent. Stay. Sit. Now even the little things like this, the dog gets up. He's not allowed to get up unless I allow him to get up. Stay. Boom. Good boy. Here. Fetch. Fetch. Good boy. Hold it. Right here. Here. Hold. Sit. Here. Sit. I don't like that. Sit. He comes into heel where at least he's supposed to be. Now we go back to pressure. Fetch. Hold. In his mind, this is getting praise and for the correction. We correct him. He sits here and holds it. This is a good note to end on. Drop. Once you get outside and these dogs become, you know, kind of free-willed when you're out here, and you get into their head a little bit like we just did, and you wonder, you say, okay, this 15-minute trainer, how important is it to stay to 15 minutes? 15 minutes is a great general rule. Try to stay inside of that, but you're going to find days where it may be 12 minutes or 15, 18, 20 minutes, depending on the dog. This dog is mentally we're starting to lose him. I don't want to start where I have to go for an hour and 20 minutes to try to get one good behavior out of him. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give him the option now. Hey, let him get excited. Once we're done working, you can give him a fun retrieve. Let him think that life is okay. Okay, fetch it. Let him go in, let him have some fun. Notice the difference in how he drives and what he's doing. How much more intensity he's got. Good boy, come here. But once you make it fun for him, good boy, drop it. You don't have to make him finish. Once you've made the decision to be done training with that 15-minute session, that means that you're done. Don't try to all of a sudden bring him back into a work mode and make things happen. Now it's time for him to be a dog. Fetch it up. Good boy. Just let him be a dog. Here. Good boy. Notice how much more energy he's got. Here. Come on, bud. Here. Good boy. Drop. And one would say, well, great. He's delivering the hand. He's doing what he's supposed to do. You know why he's doing it? Because now it's on his terms. It's fun. He thinks it's great. Tail's wagging. His intensity is back. But that's the part of training that people have to understand, is that the training is what we decide. We decide he's got to sit and stay steady at heel. He's got to go and pick up a bumper or a bird or a ball. He comes back into heel and finishes correctly. By watching him run around and play tells you that all the tools are there that we need. We've built a lot of these tools, but He's making the decision. He wants to make the decision what's okay and what's fun. That's where we have to step in and integrate and infiltrate what we've done on these 15-minute trainers to get to the final and finished point. This is just a step along the way. I'm Tom Waite from GundogTrainer.com, and thanks for watching. Come here, you. Good boy. Good boy. Yeah, good boy.